Hot take, right off the bat. Amphibia is Disney Channel's best cartoon. Sorry, Gravity Falls. Sorry, Phineas and Ferb. I love you, but Funny Frog Show got you beat in my book. So now that I've made everyone mad, if you're not familiar, Amphibia is a relatively recent Disney Channel cartoon about a girl named Anne and her friends Sasha and Marcy being magically transported to a world of talking frog people. And when I tell you that this show has some of the darkest moments of any Disney Channel cartoon I've seen, yeah, you're right to be skeptical. But I'm serious. Amphibia may look simple on the surface, but it goes way deeper than you'd ever expect, which is one of the main reasons why it quickly became probably my favorite Disney Channel cartoon. The show wrapped up its third and final season last May, so it's been nearly a year without Amphibia. And I know I say something along the lines of, oh, the show's over, now I miss it, in just about all of these pretending it's not over videos, but it's extra serious this time. Anytime something Amphibia related has popped up on my social media feed in the last few months, I've just immediately thought, man, that was a good show. I miss that show so much. So you know what time it is. It's time to live in denial. Say it every time. Never gets old. And today, I just want to talk all things Amphibia. Taking a look at what us Frog Show fans have to hold on to since the show broke our hearts and left us forever. If I sound overly dramatic, it's because I feel overly dramatic. And if you, like me, have been living in a denial hole ever since Amphibia ended last May, then might I recommend you check out the Foot of a Ferret I Live in a Constant State of Denial merchandise line linked right below in the description. Wear your denial on your sleeve with the shirt, the hat, or the coffee mug. And now back to Frog Show! So yeah, right out of the gate, I gotta give a massive spoiler warning here. I'm definitely going to be spoiling this show right now. So if you haven't seen Amphibia or my big plot recap of the show yet, you've been warned. Because first, I want to talk about the ending of this show. A little bit weird, I know, but I don't think I've ever seen an ending to a cartoon that created this much of an immediate, pretending it's not over reaction from its audience. Major spoilers ahead, here we go. Oh, well, I guess you need context. So Amphibia plays out basically like this. Anne, Sasha, and Marcy all get sent to Frog World because Marcy's family was moving and she didn't want to lose her friends. She found this crazy magic music box in a pawn shop, knew it had powers, and used it to send her and her friends to Amphibia. But then they all get split up. Anne winds up with the Planters, Polly, Sprig, and Hop Pop, Sasha gets in with an army of toads, and Marcy becomes the best friend of Amphibia's king, Andrias. But turns out, Andrias is a big bad with daddy issues who wants to use the music box's power to open a portal to the human realm and do conquering. The gang all fight him off. Anne discovers she's Super Saiyan, Andrias kills Marcy with a sword, and the main characters get flung through a portal and just bum around LA for a little while. But then they come back and join a massive resistance group to take down Andrias, who's now brought Marcy back to life so he can plug the collective consciousness of Amphibia's old leaders into her brain and make her evil. I'm not making this up, this is how the show goes. A bunch of fights happen, there's some K-pop, Andrias says sorry, Marcy's freed and everything seems okay, but then the moon nearly crashes into Amphibia. It's a long story. And in order to stop it, Anne sacrifices herself. For about 2 minutes. Her cat brings her back to life. It was fine. And then, with both worlds saved, they use the music box one more time to open a portal home, and then all three of them leave Amphibia forever. Yes, forever. The show goes out of its way to drive in the fact that they can never and will never come back. The portal closes, the box disintegrates, and we flash forward to see everyone moving on with their lives 10 years later. It is one of the most overtly cut and dried finales I've ever seen. And it was an amazing ending. But it made so many people upset. I remember seeing plenty of comments from people who were upset that Anne, Sasha, and Marcy could never come back to Amphibia. But I genuinely think they weren't mad because they really thought the ending was bad. I just don't think they were able to accept the fact that these characters would never see each other again. Like it was just too sad. I think the ending was so well done, so final, and so heartbreaking that it elicited a pretending it's not over denial response immediately. And honestly, that's really impressive. There are plenty of cartoons and shows in general that end and people are sad but happy with how the show ended. Amphibia ended and people were like, what? No, go back, stay with the frogs! I don't think people were disappointed with the ending as much as they were in just some kind of shocked denial. Though, maybe I'm wrong. But I mean, the ending of the show doesn't seem anywhere near as controversial now. It's not like it's Star versus the Forces of Evil or something, where people were so mad at the ending that it basically ruined the whole show for them. So I think people were just sad. I think they were just sad, and nowadays they're finally coming to terms with it all. So let's open those wounds back up. So picture this. Amphibia's just ended. You'll never be the same. You immediately take to the internet to find any semblance of extra Amphibia content to fill the void, and the first thing you come across is this. That's a tone shift. These are Chibi Tiny Tales, a series of mostly silent shorts from Disney Channel that cover almost every one of their shows. I'm talking Owl House, Phineas and Ferb, Big City Greens, Ghost and Molly McGee, and of course, Amphibia. These shorts are fun, cute, pretty goofy, and actually manage to keep the show's sense of humor pretty well intact despite having basically no dialogue. Though I will say these shorts are maybe a bit more geared towards younger kids. They definitely have a bit more of a baby show vibe. You definitely aren't getting any of the intense action or brutal character deaths in these shorts. But surprisingly, the shorts actually do follow the lore of the show. I mean, look at this one. That's Anne and the Planters in the human realm, just like in season 3. Now, I'm not saying that it's canon that the Planters went to space and met aliens, but I'm not denying it. And here's another one where Sprig is running around trying to catch a fly with his tongue and probably one of the cooler things about these shorts is that because they aren't canon, they don't really have to follow any rules, which is how we get stuff like this. Yes, you are seeing this right. Chibi Tiny Tales has an official Disney Channel sanctioned Amphibia and Owl House crossover. And you know, what an absolute gift. Killing two, pretending it's not over birds with one stone. And you might say, but Fofi, Owl House isn't over yet. Aw, you already started. So yeah, these shorts are cute, fun, and have a surprising amount of fan service with all the crossovers. Basically, if you just finished Amphibia, are weighed down by the torturous emotional exhaustion, and just want to go back to a simpler froggy time, these are exactly what you're looking for. There's also plenty of non-chibi Amphibia shorts out there if you want your talking frogs to actually talk. You can find pretty much all of them on YouTube or Disney Channel's website. You know, if you want to be different. What do you think, you're special? But then, if you go just one tab over from these shorts, you'll actually find some Amphibia games. That's always good for the old denial. Let's take a look instead of coming to grips with reality. There are 3 games listed here, but as you can probably tell, that's not a frog. It's Furry Fury. These other 2 games appear to just be general Disney Channel games, probably with a bunch of different characters included, so there's only one actual Amphibia game here to play. Locust Pocus. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty clever name, which is good, because this game is brain dead. Sorry, that was kind of mean. But you know these kind of browser games, right? These like Flash browser cartoon games are always the most simple, bare-bones things on the planet. In Locust Pocus, Hop Hop asked Anne and Sprig to set up some locust traps around Wartwood, which our lovable, reliable heroes absolutely do not do. So the town gets overrun with locusts, and it's up to Anne and Sprig to save the day, even though they caused the problem in the first place. Yeah, that's pretty on brand. And you do all this by slowly running around and picking stuff off the ground. And there it is. Locust Pocus is a weird, like, action game / point-and-click hybrid thing. You play as Anne and Sprig at, like, the same time, and you just search a bunch of bushes and smash up a bunch of mushrooms to find random junk for the citizens of Wartwood. And you do that over 8 exciting versions of the same one stage. And I did all this for a solid 20 minutes, got through every level, and then the game was like, all right, again, and then just booted me back to the world map. The game basically looped. Yeah, I'm not doing all that again. Amphibia Locust Pocus. It functions. It's kind of the bare minimum a game needs to be considered a game. I mean, it has levels and controls. The art is really nice. I will say that. Amphibia stuff has always had amazing art, and this is no exception. But, the game also doesn't have any music. Like, past the title screen and the slideshow cutscenes, the game is deathly silent. So it all just kind of feels like a weird, awkward dream. I can't really say I could recommend this. Even if you're desperate for more Amphibia content, this game is just kinda nothing. And that's a real shame. An Amphibia video game could be so much fun. Like, just look at the intro. They're literally jumping on platforms. The game writes itself. I do think there are some fan game projects in the works, though. I don't know, maybe we'll look at those another time. But for now, let's say you want something a little more real. Something that actually exists in the corporeal sense. Toys. It's toys. I meant toys. Now, unfortunately, Amphibia never got any kind of big official toy line like you'd find at Target. But there are some Amphibia toys to check out. I found them on the MysteryShack.com. Not sponsored, it's just the truth. This website specializes in cartoon merch. I've picked up a few cool things from them before, most notably these incredible figures of Star and Marco from Star vs. the Forces of Evil that have been staples on my desk for years now. A lot of Star references in this video. And of course, they have their fair share of Amphibia stuff, including a few plushies. So obviously, I picked some up. And they haven't shipped yet. So I don't have them right now, which means it's time for everyone's favorite, looking at pictures of toys on the internet. So let me show you what I ordered. First up, we got this adorable little plush of Polly. Check it out in all of its 2D PNG glory. For real though, this thing is adorable. The character plush is super accurate to the show, which I mean, Yeah, I'd hope so. Polly's mostly just a circle. But look, it comes with Polly's little bucket too, and it's also a plush. That's too cute. I can't wait for it to actually exist in my reality. But that's not all. I also picked up 3 more Amphibia plushies. 3, Chibi plushies, actually. Huh, that's a weird coincidence. But yeah, the Mystery Shack was also selling these cute chibi plushies of Anne, Sasha, and Marcy, and these look really cool. They even made sure to include little details like all the leaves and sticks and bugs and hair and junk in Anne's hair. Oh, that doesn't work. That line doesn't work. How did I not realize that until right now? I was so caught up in trying to make a UHF reference that I didn't even realize that the line didn't work. Huh. All the hair in her hair. They even made sure to include little details like all the leaves and sticks in Anne's hair. I'm really excited for these to show up, but until then, I can't really do much more than say, look! Look at that! But if these aren't your style, there's tons of other stuff on the Mystery Shack. Again, not sponsored, it works with the video. Pins, posters, shirts, other plushies, and I think they might even be working on a replica of the Calamity Box, which, side note, when that's done, I will be buying all of them. Don't even try. But while all of this is cute and fun and capitalism, I feel like you guys might be looking for something a little bit deeper, something more substantial. You want to feel like you're right back in the world of Amphibia. You want the lore. So I've saved, I think, the best for last, Marcy's Journal, A Guide to Amphibia. Because ever since Gravity Falls, it is legally required for every Disney Channel cartoon to have a lore journal. Gravity Falls, Star vs. the Forces of Evil, I think DuckTales, and now Amphibia. I'm sure there's an Owl House one right around the corner. But anyway, this book is actually a pretty big deal. Released back in November of 2022, Marcy's Journal is the first big substantial piece of new Amphibia content to come out after the show ended. As you could probably guess, this is supposed to be the journal of Marcy Wu and is a 100% canon companion piece to the show. The whole thing is written from Marcy's perspective and chronicles her experiences in Amphibia, including stuff we never got to see in the show. Literally, the journal starts the moment she and her friends opened the Calamity Box and were first transported to Amphibia, and then goes into all the adventures she went on before reuniting with Anne in season 2, which means we get never before seen characters, quests, and cool foreshadowing bits. And once the story does catch up with Marcy and Anne's reunion, the book mostly just continues to retell Amphibia's story from Marcy's perspective. Or well, most of it. She was a little out of commission there for a while. And while I'm still kind of reading through it fully, I skimmed for the sake of getting this video done on time, I gotta say, it really does take you back. All the emotional moments from the show hit just as hard for me in this retelling. The illustrations are amazing. And of course, like any good lore journal, there's even some secret codes to crack, which I have not done yet. I didn't do. And at first, I was just gonna say all that and wrap it up by saying, if you're an Amphibia fan, this book is a no-brainer. You know, just like every Gravity Falls fan has a copy of Journal 3, I think every Amphibia fan should have a copy of Marcy's Journal. If you love Amphibia as much as I do and you really miss it, this book will take you right back. I was gonna say all that and then probably end the video with another bleh joke, but then I got to the very last page of this journal. I know I already gave a spoiler warning for the show, but major spoiler warning now for this book specifically. We good? Okay. So one of the really cool things about this book is the way it expands the epilogue. Unlike the show, we actually get a look into what happened to Anne, Sasha, and Marcy right after returning to Earth. In the show, we just cut straight to the time jump, but here we actually get to see how they adjusted to returning home. Marcy winds up seeing multiple doctors and therapists after, you know, the trauma and the stabbing, and in this section, Marcy talks about meeting a couple of the human characters from season 3. The secret agent, RuPaul, Mr. X, and the scientist, Terry. And then Marcy lets slip that these two are working on rebuilding an interdimensional portal machine. But like I said at the top of this video, with the Calamity Box and its stones all destroyed, the chances of ever opening a portal again are basically non-existent. Even so, Mr. X and Terry vow to keep researching. And eventually, Marcy has to face the inevitable and finally move away with her family. Then we get the 10-year time skip. Everything here plays out basically the same as the show's finale until right here. Anne's phone began ringing. It was Terry, who after all this time said they had some very exciting news for us. Wonder what it could be. Excuse me? No, stop. Shut. And after that, the book just ends. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's not a big deal. It's not like you just implied that they can return to Amphibia or anything like that. Nah, it's fine. Just end the book there. It's fine. It's not like I just spent the better part of a year recovering from one of the most emotionally gut-punching cartoon finales I've ever seen. One that went out of its way to take every opportunity it could to say the characters you love will never see each other again. Get used to it. Nah, it's fine. I just spent all this time living in denial, pretending it's not over, believing there was no hope left in the world, only for this extremely huge revelation to be snuck into the last page of a book like it's nothing. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.